Welcome to Budget with Forbes India. Today I have with me Vikram Gupta, founder and managing partner of IvyCap Ventures. Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So to start off, I want to ask you, what changes to tax structures would significantly impact startup funding in India?
Yeah, so I think I must say that the government has been trying very positively to help startups and also venture capital funds, but there is a lot that can be done. One area where I would like to really put a lot of focus on is unlocking domestic pools of capital. And I would say that pension funds is one area where there is a huge potential. And already I think there is some action which is happening. I think the funds are getting unlocked for this space. But I think if a little bit push can be given in this budget, in terms of incentivizing the pension funds for investing in VCP funds, I think that would be great. The second is also the endowment funds, which I've been personally working on in setting up endowments across the country. And I would say that that also creates an alternative pool of domestic capital. And if government can encourage endowment funds with the various tax incentives, I think that will also offer huge alternative pools of capital for domestic vehicles. So this is one area for domestic pools of capital. Then, of course, I think from a startup perspective, there is a lot of potential, given that quite a few startups have got impacted or will be impacted going forward as well by the tariffs being imposed by Trump. And I think there is an opportunity for us to really rationalize some of the tax structures and also some of the areas where these startups that will get impacted because of these tariffs, if incentives can be given to them. And I think GST rationalization was one such move, which was a positive move. And I think if we can do something very similar, that would be great for startups. Then there are a few specific requirements that we have as industry, as venture capital, private equity industry, that we believe will help the overall startup ecosystem, which is rationalizing some of the tax models when it comes to PE/VC funds. As an example, today the tax is calculated based on the invested capital in the portfolio companies, but usually at the fund level, when you're investing into various startups, there is also an expense that gets incurred at the fund level, and that expense does not get any tax benefit. So from an investor's perspective, they invested in the fund, so they should get the benefit of the overall fund investment rather than investment only at the investment level. So these are some of the examples that I believe the government can look at. Then, of course, I would also love to see incentives when it comes to deep tech and AI-driven businesses. And as we all understand, there are 5 layers of AI. There is energy, there's infrastructure, there's chips, semiconductors, there's models, there's applications. And today, India is very strong and even getting stronger when it comes to the application layers. I think in the remaining 4 layers, India is still lagging behind when it comes to comparison with China and the US. If the government can consider giving incentives for making investments in the areas of whether it's energy or infrastructure or semiconductors and specifically linked to deep tech, I think that would really create a huge positive outcome when it comes to AI startups. So that is an area which I believe government can really work on. So these are some of the areas which I would like to propose and hope that the government looks into these and provides good incentive in terms of tax and other areas, even non-tax incentives.
Yeah. So you did mention GST rationalization and other tax rationalization. Are there any other specific regulatory simplifications or compliance burden reductions you're hoping to see in this budget?
Yeah, I think, of course, there are quite a few compliance burdens which happen, from various perspectives when it comes to, for example, shutting down of startups, or when an M&A happens, the tax kind of implications of exits that happen. There are a lot of compliances which are involved there, and also in terms of the entire reporting that startups have to do. If they can be streamlined, I think there'll be a big boost for startups. So these are some of the compliance related areas. And also, while the government has been trying to create a single window kind of an opportunity for startups in terms of various regulatory compliances, I think there is still a lot of work to be done there in terms of rationalizing and use of technology for the startup reporting when it comes to compliances. So that's on the compliances side. And I think on the tax rationalization side, I would say GST was a very good move, but can there be a more incentive structures in terms of how the startups actually do their taxation, and also can there be a bifurcation amongst the startups in terms of startups focused on certain specific priority areas, like if any startups is working on the core sectors or healthcare or education, or in social impact areas, can they have differential tax treatment if possible? So I think these are some of the suggestions that are worth considering.
Right. And can you tell us how important is the continuation or expansion of the fund of funds for startup schemes given the current funding winter? And which sectors do you expect will receive targeted support?
Yeah, so I would first of all congratulate the government for setting up this RDI and promoting funds. And I've also seen a substantial focus on promoting first-time funds and micro VC funds, which is the way to go when it comes to promoting the entire venture capital ecosystem in the country. And that's the only way to promote more startups. At the same time, I think, as I mentioned earlier, you need to unlock domestic pools of capital. Government, while it has created the pools of capital through RDI, through state government pockets of capital, through various other pockets like MSME, SRI, SIDBI, which has been there for a while and has been doing a great job. I think there is an opportunity for the government to really think of moving a little bit more actively in terms of unlocking the pension funds as well as the endowment funds, and therefore giving incentives which don't exist today so that people can actually do more and more of that.
All right. That was all our questions for today. Thank you, Mr. Vikram Gupta, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.